Hey everybody, I'm Josh.
And I'm Eitan.
Welcome back to the 41st episode of the Young Half podcast. We are two 14-year boys from New Jersey who discuss, debate, share takes, and everything from history to politics, sports, events, and more. Follow us on Instagram at the Younger Half and all other social media platforms to see more of our podcasts. Check us out on your favorite podcasting platform at the Younger Half. You can also check out our newly designed YouTube channel to see our faces during our podcast and clips of the podcast at the Younger Half. And if you'd like to upgrade the podcast by supporting us with a monthly donation, head to anchor.fm/youngerhalf/support or click on the link in the description. For this week's episode, we have a debate question. We have our president taking a bit of a tumble. Ethan's unmuted there, but he's laughing. And some new CDC some new CDC policies regarding in class. Yeah. So, and of course, trivia. You got anything for us, Eitan?
Yeah, I think that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Okay, good. So I think that big thing is our YouTube channel. It's no longer like a 30-minute episode of our podcast. We're just getting the best points, the best highlights. It's like 2 to 3 minute clips. Subscribe, watch it. Good, good content, and we're just taking the best from every episode and putting it out there.
Yeah,
3
it'd
to
be like
4
two,
minutes, whatever. Yeah,
2 videos that are around could vary from 2 to 8 minutes.
Yeah, very quick, very short things.
So
yeah, check it out.
Yeah, for sure. So for today's trivia question, we have, what is the world's longest river? Now, I remember hearing this. There is some argument, debate about like what it really is, but I think the general accepted opinion is the one that I'll say.
I think I have a few guesses, but we'll see. I'll say at the end, but I think
Okay, so you want to would you like to announce our debate question?
Are you doing it or me? I thought I'm doing.
Sure, I'll
do it.
by the way, for the longest river in the world, you could give me two. There's two potential answers.
Okay, fine. So I'll give you two.
Okay.
All right,
So for the debate question, sorry, I just needed to. This website said one thing, and I remembered hearing, I was like, I thought it was the other one. So then I googled. So we'll accept two answers.
All right, good.
The debate question is regarding like drug addicts in the legal system. Should they be sent to jail? Should they be sent to rehab centers? Like, what is their deal? Like, what should be their status? What do you think, Eitan?
So I know we were talking about this like a few minutes ago. I really think we went at it, Josh. But
no, we were looking for a question, and it was like 10 minutes. Eitan was listening off. I was like, no, and then I was doing something else, and I looked for a different one. And then I said it, and we started debating. I was like, well, save this for the episode.
We'll save it for the episode.
Yeah.
Right.
So what do you think?
I think I think they should. I really think that
they should.
They should be sent to they should be sent to a help center, a rehab center, because the addiction won't be helped. Like, it needs professional help. Locking them behind a cell is like, it's not gonna help. I'd say it's just like, it's kind of like pointless. I think it's much like better off to put them in a rehab center where they can get professional help from people and actually stop using. What do you think, Josh? I know you have a very
it's tough for me because you obviously want to help them, but at the same time, like, they could really be endangering others around them. Like somebody who uses drugs could had similar effects to it as like alcohol. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could be the similar thing to DUI and kill a family. Like, it's tough for me to have them roaming the streets now. But at the same time,
but
if they were to in a rehab center, like, to have them in a rehab center, I don't think, like, I would be like okay with that, but I think like it couldn't be like they're living their life and then they have a rehab center appointment like once a week. Like I feel like they'd have to like live there if that kind of makes sense. Like I think it would be foolish to let them like be like roaming the streets and everything like that. But like
But they
I
wouldn't.
don't necessarily think that they should be thrown in jail on a first offense. But I think like after rehab, if they're found like again and again and again, I just don't see like how you know
I
what I
mean,
mean.
I think that, but like the chances are much less. If they do go to rehab and they do, get actual like professional help, they won't be able to like see doctors in the jail cell. Like I think that they're gonna need like a psychologist or
Yes,
whatever
but
for.
the thing about like therapy and rehab is it's not like that simple. It's a two-way street. For one to get over an addiction, they have to want to get over the addiction too. And that's the biggest problem for me is like is if you were to say to just throw them in a rehab center, I don't know what the odds are of one actually succeeding to overcome the addiction. Now, whether you're telling me whether I should say that we shouldn't even try, I don't know. Like I don't have like a clear cut opinion on this. I just think it'd be risky and difficult for me to just say like for you to guarantee for me that this person wants to get over their addiction.
Yeah, but you have a better chance of locking them behind you have a better chance of them quitting or whatever, by putting them in a facility where they'll have around the clock assistance from professionals who do this for a living and help prevent people from
It's not
like
about that though.
overdosing or whatever
You're
and
focusing on the
lock.
wrong thing. I feel like you're like
What do you
that's what I
mean?
was trying to say is like great, get like have an amazing therapist. It's that all goes out the window if the person doesn't want to get over the addiction. Like you
Yeah,
can't guarantee to me that the person wants to. A, B, of course, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if we should try because at this like if like having one like who's like all like messed up, um, like roam the streets like that. That's not safe.
yeah,
That's
but
affecting the society, the community around you. Now,
but I'm just saying, Josh. Then they don't go to any rehab. They sit in a jail cell. They get what probably 2 years in jail for being. Can you even go to what is it? What is the crime again? Drug addicts, right? So I mean, they probably only go to jail for possession, which is probably less than. I don't know how many years, but it's not a lifetime. So then after 5 years, they go back to drug dealing, but you have a better chance of putting them in a
You think
facility of
you
them
think
not
you
to go
think
back.
okay, hold on. We're discussing drug addicts. If you're telling me that a drug dealer should be in rehab, I heavily disagree with you.
No, but
Somebody
I'm
who's
saying
actively like dealing things to ruin other people's mind, that person should not be in rehab. That person should be locked up for a long time.
no, but I'm saying that person is also a drug addict, and I'm just saying like the
That's not
point.
relevant to me. To me, once you start dealing drugs, that's a different story.
Okay, fine, but I'm just saying drug addicts. It doesn't make any sense to put them in jail because after their sentence, then they'll just go back for sure to being a drug dealer, or I mean not drug dealer, drug addict, right?
Say
After
that
the
again.
sentence,
Say that again.
it's for me. Okay, you put a drug addict in prison, and then right after they automatically go back and do drugs. If you put a drug addict in a facility or whatever, their chances to get over this addiction is much greater.
Okay, two
It's
things.
scientifically proven. Like, why do you
It's
think
not
those
it's
things
not
will work?
scientifically proven. That's a fact.
Sure, it is,
But
Josh.
it's not
Yeah,
that's not it's not it's not like a study. That's obvious. Um,
yeah.
two things. A, like I agree with you, but you're forgetting the biggest factor. If the person doesn't want to be quote unquote fixed, then they're not getting help. Two, okay, agreed that
But
like
they'll help.
agree that they're obviously going to have a higher chance of rehab, but you can't tell me that they're automatically going to get fixed. Well, that's not what you're saying. Like you can't
Uh,
tell me that.
I
Yeah,
didn't say they're gonna
obviously they're
clap
going to
their
have a
hands. They're
higher
gonna be
chance,
like
but in jail,
abracadabra,
obviously
you're
obviously
fixed.
they're going to have a higher chance. But if they're not in jail and then they go on and kill a family, you'd have blood on your hands.
I'm just saying, look, 5 years in prison or 5 years in a rehab. It's much better chances of not being in a drug addict after the 5 years. Even if you don't want to be helped, they will help you. It's like
That's not true.
sometimes you need to be forced. I'm telling you, if
That's
you're in a
false.
rehab and you're a drug addict, they're not just gonna sit there and give you cocaine.
Oh,
they're
really?
gonna they're gonna help you, Josh. Like, I don't get what you're like. It doesn't make sense. Like, even you're saying, oh, they don't want to be helped. Yes, a lot of people, even with mental illnesses, do not want to be helped, but sometimes you need to just force them, and then they will be helped. Like,
I
I
think you're so wrong. I'm gonna be like
what do you think happens to people that are sentenced to 5 years instead of prison? Let's say they said sentenced 5 years in a rehab center. What happens to them? They just sit there for 5 years? What do you
where?
think?
You just
In
asked
the
me two
rehab
different
center.
scenarios.
I'm saying, let's say someone is sent to, instead of 5 years in prison, they're sent to 5 years in a rehab facility, right? So what? And they don't want to be helped. So what are they supposed to do in the rehab facility?
A lot of times you're not living in the rehab center. Like there's many different types.
Well, yeah, but if
Yeah.
you're a drug addict, you're most likely not going
That's
home on the weekends.
not like I don't know where you got that from. Like there's many different types. Like you want it where
Correct.
it's just like a focus group. You
Different.
go weekly, you go daily. Like, not all of them you're living there. Like a lot of those are like just like mental hospitals.
Yeah.
Like my point and my that's what I was saying before is to have
But
a dangerous person like that, like going through the streets. That's so like that's not worth the risk of them potentially not even like wanting to help and getting zero help.
I just think that it's just, I don't know. I just think that what outcome do you think would be positive for sending them to jail? Like, I
I,
just don't get
keeping
that
keeping a
opinion.
person who can cause harm off the streets.
To
Like I
themselves. I don't
that's
think,
so that's clear to me.
but I don't know. I just think that they're just gonna get deeper and deeper. Those people clearly need help.
Agreed, but if you're going and don't have control over your mind, and
So,
there's
well, for those severe cases,
and there's the potential of you going and taking a life, you can't be going through the streets.
I'm just saying. Whatever. It's in most of the time when it's a bad case, Josh, they'll keep them in the whatever it is for like at least for however long they'll live there. Yeah, it obviously depends on what kind of case it is, but if they don't want to be helped, then they're like,
They're
I know
not
it
going to
doesn't.
be helped. That's the bottom.
They
If
are
you
going
don't
to.
want to be
They
helped,
are.
you're
They
not
are.
going to get any gain from it.
That's not true at all, Josh. I'm sorry. I don't think it's true at all. They're
Okay,
literally
fine.
they're
So
these people.
we're gonna interview a former drug addict who went through rehab, but the original time that they didn't want it, and you'll see that they didn't want it,
That's a
and it didn't
great
help them.
idea. We'll do that, Josh.
Okay,
I don't know
great.
how to.
I'm happy.
I
That's a
just think.
great conclusion.
Okay, fine. We'll work on this, Josh. We're getting someone.
Okay, great. For full episodes of The Younger Half podcast, check us out on anchor.fm/The Younger Half or wherever you listen to your podcasts like Apple, Spotify, or Google.